Okay, so this is your code. I've opened it up in my local Python editor. I have made no changes to everything up here. I have made a few changes to this area right here, and I will show you what changes I've made and why. First, I've taken Google and Adobe out because I only have the AAP or the Apple, and I've got it saved on my desktop. It's right here. So that's what I've got. Next, I added this comment. Why is this here? I'll ask that question later. I added a print statement around mean revision strategy and a print statement around simple moving average strategy. I have commented out the errors, right? So like this line and this line were giving us errors, and so I've commented them out. Basically, I commented them out because I just wanted to get rid of them and run the code. Because I think that by running the code, we will be able to see what the errors are. So I'm going to save that and run it. Here's the fresh run. And this is normally where your print line finishes. But notice here, this is the value of this. So what I've done here is I've printed that out, right? So whatever simple moving average strategy is returning, I have printed out what it's returning. Now, you and I both know that what it's actually returning is the total profit and the final profit percentage. But very importantly, right here, if this line, this doesn't say print, right? It returns it nothing, right? Because there's no variable equals, right? So if we have a variable, let's say I don't know, Bob. I'm sorry, that's not a good variable. Let's call it SMA temp, right? If SMA temp gets this, right, then we can do things with SMA temp. For example, SMA temp can print, right? SMA temp, we can print it. We can also print just the first value of SMA temp because SMA temp is returning two values, and so we can just get it by index number. We can print value number 1. We can print value number 2. SMA temp value number 2, which is value number 1 because we start counting at 0. All right, so again, haven't changed that. That's still got the print, still ignoring everything else, but I've made more print lines. So down here, we should see more print lines. So let's save it. Let's run it. Yeah, here we go. So again, it gives us the tuple. That's the fancy Python word for the two things that SMA, which is this simple moving average strategy function. And we can see that it's returning two things because right here, you're returning total profit and you're returning final profit percentage. And so interestingly enough, your total profit is number 0 and final profit percentage is number 1. If we come down here, this particular piece of line was giving us an issue because it was saying that total profit isn't defined. And that's true. Total profit, it's not here. It's not in this for loop anywhere. This for loop lives inside of this function, and this function doesn't have total profit defined anywhere. Total profit is defined in the simple moving average function. And so what is defined in this function now, because we've saved the results in our function, we can actually put this here. We can put SMA temp 0 because that's the one we want, and the final profit percentage is SMA temp 1. And if we do that, those will be things that are defined, and the results will get that value, and then the results will save the results into whatever save results does, which I think up here, save results does this. Oh, and this is just, okay, so this is just actual code that runs every time. It's not in a function. I'm not used to Python sometimes, and anyway. So if I run this now, save it and run it, notice first we did not get an error message. Yay! And we didn't get an error message because what we're using here are defined. Now, this isn't the best like naming convention, right? SMA temp 1 doesn't tell us much, right? It might be beneficial to do something like what you had with what was it, total profit, right? You might do something like this: copy total profit, gets the value of SMA temp 0, right? paste, and then you might have total profit, now that we've defined it, into here, right? Paste that. And that's a bit of a mess. I don't know why you'd leave that code like that, but I'm making examples here. If we run that again, because now that we've defined total profit, we get the same output, right? But here, we've defined total profit as the first value of the results of this function, right? And we can do this similar thing right up here with this as well, right? So right here, instead of print mean revision strategy, again, we want to save the results to a variable, and then we want to allow that variable, if it's a tuple, to be able to save individual things with variable names that make sense to us. We can do that. Now, interestingly, you are saving the results to a JSON dump, and you are creating a blank result here. You're adding all of your prices, which is interesting, and I'm not sure why you're doing that, because your assignment doesn't ask you to do it. Then down here, you are also saving the results as that. So let's look at our JSON file, and here's our results.json, and I'm just going to open this up with like Notepad. You can open it up in any text editor you want. I'm just going to use Notepad, and Notepad just gives us this. Interestingly here, we have one line, only one line, right? Because this first line here basically got overwritten by this, right? And so that's going to be a thing to think about too. If we come into here, let's fix this. Let's do a simple thing here. Let's give this a mrs temp. It's that, and then right in here, let's have this be this is an mrs temp 0, and like and then this one's going to be an mrs temp 1, so we mrs temp 1, and that's not going to throw the error because these are being defined. This is being defined right here, and so if we save that and refresh it, oh, there's an unmatched. Where's this at? Oh, I forgot to delete one of my parentheses. Let's save that and run it. Oh, there's an error. Why is there an error? MRS. Oh, because that's a capital thing. Did you mean lowercase e? Yeah, actually, I did. Thanks for catching that. So that should be a lowercase e. Spelling is hard sometimes. Run it one more time. Here we go. It got all the way through. It got all the way through for this one as well. Didn't print extra stuff at the top of this, but that's okay. And if we close this, and if we open it again, just Notepad, notice here, it's just got the SMA profit, right? So it's effectively every time we're making it equal or get the value of it, we're rewriting the results, which is interesting. I think that if we want to add it to it, we would need to do something like results.append. Oh, sorry, hold on. I'm okay with it, doing that one. Let's do add the results.append, and then a parenthesis. I don't think we need that, and I think that's going to be a parenthesis. Save that, run it, invalid syntax. So maybe put this back in there. I don't know. Save it, run it. Okay, that seemed to work. Which object has no attribute.append? Well, that's annoying. Hold on, how do I Python append to dictionary? Do my dictionary name.append guru. Add new values, accessing elements, output, name, my dictionary name, deleting elements in a dictionary, output, Python add to dictionary. Okay, so here we go. Dict the color red. It's going to add a color and a red to that dictionary. Update dictionary. Oh wait, is this a? It must be a dictionary. It's setting it up. It told me it was a dictionary in the error message. This is adding color red. Oh, it's an update. Using the update dictionary. And what is this? Just doing a new key index and assigning a value to it. So, so we could assign a new key index and assign a new value to it that way, or we can use the update color red. And it looks like your code is set up for update rather than append. So let's just do update. Update. Let's do update. Save it. Run it. No new error. Let's check that JSON file. We're going to close it and then open it fresh. Here's that JSON file. Notepad, do not always do this. And it looks like now we have Mr. Profits, Mr. Returns, and SMA Profits and SMA Returns. So we've successfully appended the information to it. Yay! Now, interestingly enough, in this for loop, every time the ticker, so the question really is, how do you want to format this JSON file, which I will leave to you. But yeah, hope that helps. How do I stop this thing?